Hello, 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 guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. We're going to be finishing up part 8 in Living Untethered by Michael Singer. So we are finishing up the book. And right off the bat, I'm going to apologize for my hair. It's a little crazy. I did not do anything with it. I decided to let it dry on its own. And it is not straight, as you guys will see. And I haven't done that in a long time. And I feel like a big puff ball. So I had to put it up. Anyways, part 8, we're talking about living a life of acceptance. So the last two chapters, I think we have 38, chapter 38 and 39. So chapter 38 is titled Exploring the Higher States. Once you are no longer drowning inside, a whole other life becomes possible for you. We can now begin to discuss who you are and what it can be like in there. As the blockages release, the energy is freed from having to go around them. You start to feel happier. You start to feel higher. You start to feel like you used to feel when you had a really good day or a particularly great experience. But this time, nothing special is happening. You're just feeling an uplifting energy going on inside of you that keeps getting higher and higher. You start feeling love simply because the sky is blue. It used to take a special moment in a relationship to blow you away like that. Everything that is happening comes in and you feel it all at a richer, deeper level. This is because you are more open, more receptive. You don't have the needs and problems that you are trying to solve. Because you don't have all that commotion inside and you're feeling more whole and complete, there's nothing you need from the outside. You start to look at needs in a completely different light. You used to make satisfying needs your priority. Most of our modern needs are psychology, not physiological. Psychological needs are actually unnatural, as they indicate that something is missing or wrong. If you are feeling whole and complete inside yourself, there are no psychological needs. Psychological needs come from your blockages. When the energy is freed, what you feel is love, joy, and enthusiasm, which are just different words for uplifting energy. In the purest sense, this upward flowing energy is quite different from emotions. An emotion emanates out of your heart and pulls you into its vibration. Enthusiasm is something that wells up inside. It is a system-wide, spontaneous, uplifting flow of energy. It is, in fact, freed Shakti. When your energies are liberated, you don't need energy from anybody else. You have so much energy inside you, it's incomprehensible. Surely you have experienced from time to time that if something you really like happens, there can be a sudden burst of inner energy. How long does that take? A billionth of a second. Imagine you're feeling depressed and not doing well. Suddenly something happens. Perhaps you receive a phone call that gets you talking and smiling. It makes your energy flow. The energy was always there, but you opened up because the phone call matched something you liked. A blockage temporarily got out of the way, and all this energy flowed up. Truth is, if that blockage had not been in the way, you would not have needed the phone call to open you. This is why you do the inner work of releasing blockages. As the blockages release, the energy takes you to higher and higher states. You already know what the higher states are. The higher states are about love. They are about being really enthusiastic about your job and anything else you're doing. The higher energies are beautiful. They're much more beautiful than the expression of the lower energies. As you open up, life is no longer about seeking non-negative states. It becomes about allowing ever-increasing positive states. Growth used to be about not feeling anger or anxiety anymore. Now it's about feeling so much overwhelming love that when you wake up, you have trouble getting out of... Now it's about feeling so much overwhelming love when you wake up that you have trouble getting out of bed. Sorry, I thought I read that wrong, but apparently that's right. Then the feeling of enthusiasm to go to work gets so strong that it pulls you out of bed and propels you through the day. Okay, makes more sense. This is what feels like when the energy is flowing. Most people don't believe life can be like this. They feel they must find the perfect job in order to be enthused to go to work. How are you defining the perfect job? You define it as one that opens you. In other words, the one that fits your blockages just right so your energy can flow. Problem is, if the same job ever hits your blockages the wrong way, you will close. You are still letting your samskaras run your life. It's not a matter of finding the right job, it's a matter of releasing the blockages so you can be enthused about the job you have. If any of you out there are familiar with Christ's letters, it's a book, but there's also a YouTube channel called My Impersonal Life that shared all 9 of Christ's letters. So these are supposed to be messages that came through a clear channel regarding what Jesus was really all about, how his words were misinterpreted in the Bible. One of the things that he talks about is I lost my train. So he talks about one part where, no one is better than another. From the person that hands you the cup of tea in the hospital, say it's like a CNA or a nurse's aide, all the way up to the surgeon that took your cancer out. If you do your job with a loving heart and integrity versus the surgeon who does his just for the money and just for the fact that they can say that this is what they do and they're sort of jaded and all of that, from the person that's handing the cup of tea can make the bigger difference in the person they're treating's soul and in their spirit than the person that treated the physical ailment. But at any level, no matter what you do, if you do it with love in your heart and you do it and just focus on what you're doing in front of you, every task matters, every job matters. And I believe that. I believe that no matter what you do, you are valuable. You make yourself as valuable as you choose to be by the way that you talk to yourself about what you do, the attitude you go in with, how you treat others when you're there, whether it's your coworkers, whether it's your employers, if you're a boss. There is no one above anybody else. We are all equal. We are all an important part of this machine of life that makes it run. And as long as you're doing that job, knowing that in your heart, you are sending that person away with more than they can ever know. And you're making an impact on the entire planet. So it's a win all around because you're happier, they're happier, and it spreads. You may not see it now, you may not even see it right away, but it does happen. It does make a difference. No matter how high you get, you can always get much higher. Don't believe those who say you can't enjoy happiness unless you also know sadness. That is not true. That's what life is like if you are still blocked. Once you're unblocked, you will notice the energy is always beautiful. It is an ever-new rush of uplifting joy that raises your heart, your mind, and everything inside you. You'll be more aware than you used to be and have the enthusiasm of a child about everything you get to do. You might wonder why you would be motivated to do anything if you're already that content. Why bother having a job or even a relationship if you're already filled with so much love and happiness? The answer is simple. Love wants to express itself and enthusiasm wants to create. Once the energy is no longer blocked and is flowing freely, personal needs are no longer your motivation. Your actions are the expression of love and gratitude for life. Your whole life becomes an act of service. Even your relationships become acts of service to other human beings. You don't need anything from a relationship, but love loves to express itself. If you have tremendous love going on inside you, people will be attracted to you. You don't have to worry about attracting somebody or keeping them interested in you. People are attracted to light. It's very natural. If there is something special, you shower them with love day and night, expecting nothing in return. Love is a very unique gift. It is just as beautiful for both the giver and the receiver. Life is so simple once you are okay inside. You don't do these things because of the fruits you bear. Each moment is whole and complete within itself. You reach the point where there is nothing more sacred than the spirit flowing inside you. There can be moments of disturbance, but you don't have to do anything with them. They can come and go, and they don't affect your energy flow unless you let them. You will come to realize that this energy inside you knows what it's doing. It is not only beautiful, it is intelligent. If you let it, it will fix everything. The uprising energy will do all the inner work for you. Your only job is to not interfere, to surrender. Let's go even deeper to explore what happens next. The energy flowing inside you is so beautiful that your consciousness is naturally attracted to it. What you are experiencing is everything you ever hoped to feel from the outside, but could only taste for a moment. You fall completely in love with the spiritual energy flow. Once you're being fed by the inner flow, your outer life will be fine. Before you cleared the blockages, you needed the world to be a certain way for you to be okay. This created a struggle with life on a daily basis. When you let go enough to clear the inner energy flow, the struggling ceases. You realize through direct experience that everything you ever wanted is flowing inside you, and the battle will pretty much be over. Attraction to the unconditional flow of inner energy is a wonderful love affair. In fact, the Bible says, "And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might." Deuteronomy 6:5. Now you do. That is the ultimate commandment in the Old Testament, and Jesus repeats it many times. You no longer have to worry about how to love God, because what's flowing inside of you is spirit, and you naturally love it with all your heart. You like being high, and spirit is the ultimate high. It's higher than any drug could ever take you. It's higher than any relationship you could ever have. The love and joy it brings will never stop unless you stop it. That river will flow every moment of your life unless you dam it up. But now you know better. Once the energy starts spontaneously flowing, you won't touch it. You just respect it, honor it, and appreciate it. You inwardly say, "Thank you," and keep letting go. That becomes your only prayer. Thank you so much. Now that this energy is flowing inside you, it will clean up the rest of your blockages. This will not happen immediately. You must be willing to let them go naturally. The Shakti will push the samskaras out if you let her. Your entire life becomes spiritual, about spirit. You rest into the beautiful flow of the energy, and it gives you the strength to let go of what needs to be cleansed. In time, you learn to enjoy every moment of this journey. It is freeing you, taking you to God. When you are settling into the upward flow of energy, that is a state of true contentment. Contentment doesn't mean you're lazy. It means you are not being disturbed inside. What is going on inside you is so beautiful that for the first time in your life, you feel completely at peace. You're not looking for anything. If you look out into the world, you see what's there, not what you want or don't want to be there. The experience of the outside doesn't stimulate any preferences inside of you. It just comes in, passes through, and leaves you as it found you, in a state of ecstatic well-being. All right, and now our last chapter, in the world, but not of it. That's the ultimate goal from what I understand. You want to be in the world, but not of it. Once you have reached a deep level of inner clarity, you will notice that just because you are content with reality doesn't mean you don't interact with it. The world continues to appear before you, but there's nothing personal about it anymore. It is just the part of creation passing before you at the moment. Reality doesn't bother you because you don't need anything from it. It simply exists, and you simply exist, in perfect harmony. Every moment unfolding in front of you is there for you to serve. It can be as simple as appreciating it, or you may be able to raise the energy of the moment passing before you. A smile, a kind word, a helping hand. These are all ways of raising the energy as it passes by. Doing your job to the best of your ability, taking care of your family, serving your community. These simple acts are just as much service to the universe as anything else. Imagine you're taking a walk and there's a piece of paper on the side of the road. You feel the disharmony and you pick it up. It's not a have to or a supposed to. You're simply an artist making the world more beautiful. Your mind doesn't say, "I'll pick this one up, but I'm not going to pick up every single piece of litter." Nor does your mind say, "What idiot threw this piece of paper down there? This is the kind of person who ruins the world." No, you are simply a spontaneous being who is in harmony with life. You expect nothing back from your actions because they were not done for your approval or recognition. I like that. And I like that example. A lot of times I'll take my kids to go pick up litter because we live near a creek, and a lot of litter just accumulates, and we'll take one big trash bag, and before we've even walked actually officially to the river, sometimes it's full. And I really have to stop myself from assuming that this is why this is here and this is why that's here, and people are pigs and people are so thoughtless. And I really have to stop myself and help my children understand that, because I'm not doing it for that purpose. That's not the point, is to say, look at me, I'm cleaning up the world, or judge the world. And that is the hardest thing to do. Oh, yes, I have to really master my thoughts with that one. Okay, sorry. You can't help but share the beautiful energy going on inside of you with the moment in front of you. The highest life you can live is when every single moment that passes before you is better off because it did. Serve the present moment with all your heart and soul. Imagine what the world would be like if everyone did that. Start by raising what appears before you. If you can't serve what is put in front of you, how are you going to change the world? If you are getting so upset about conditions in the world that you're edgy with everyone around you, you're not helping anyone. If you can't create harmony in your own household, what right do you have to complain that countries are shooting missiles at each other? You have to live a life that, if everyone lived it, there would be peace. If you can't do that, you are part of the problem, not the solution. It's all about letting go of yourself. The world is going to come in and it's going to hit what's left of your samskaras. What you feel going on inside when that happens is reactive energy. Don't ever act based on that. You will just be polluting the environment with your inner blockages. No good can come from that. I think the internet is a breeding ground for that kind of thing, because you can really go on and argue with some people on videos, on stupid shorts, on things that are just supposed to be funny that people take seriously. People cannot help but put in their 2 cents and get into these silly arguments with people that they probably wouldn't do that in real life if they were face to face, say the things they say, or whatever the case may be. I think the biggest focus for a lot of us, if we like to be on the internet, is really watching ourselves, what we're commenting on, the thoughts that we're putting out there. And when I say we, I include me wholeheartedly. And now A spiritual life is not about adhering to a given set of rules. It's about never acting based on your personal energy. You won't be able to do that to start with, so work on it. When the energy gets disturbed, just let it go. Your initial reaction will generally be your personal stuff coming up. If you let it go, you'll be able to interact with the moment in front of you in a more constructive manner. Simply ask yourself, is there something I can be doing to serve the moment in front of me? Not for me, I already let go of me. Now that I'm clear and non-reactive, is there something I can do to raise the moment as it passes by? Once you learn to let go of the reactionary noise of personal thoughts and emotions, things will become clear. You will know how to work with the situation in front of you. If you're conscious, present, and paying attention, you will know what to do. The moment in front of you is talking to you. It doesn't have to be in words. The piece of paper on the ground, the person who needs help, whatever it is, your response becomes obvious. The deepest truth is that it doesn't even matter what you do. What matters is where it's coming from. What matters is your motive. If your motive is to let go of yourself and serve the moment in front of you, you are worthy of great respect. How would you like to meet somebody whose entire motive and purpose in life is to first let go of their personal blockages and then do their best to serve what's in front of them? They can't do wrong because their motive is pure. If the motive itself is pure and impersonal, in the end, it will spread light. Be sure your motive is pure, then don't look back. If somebody criticizes your actions, just apologize and let it go. Always be willing to learn. If you come from the highest place you can, there's no guilt, no shame. The fruits of the best you can do are a very holy thing. If something terrible comes back from the best you can do, own it. It's yours. Let it teach you. Let it make you better so you'll do better next time. Please don't feel bad about it. Don't judge anything. It's only when you didn't do your best, you got personally disturbed and gave into it, that's when you build karma and things become really complicated. Practice letting go, and eventually you will find yourself in a seat of awareness that can't be disturbed by anything you are experiencing. There will always be a beautiful energy feeding you and raising you. At that point, there are no more techniques. There are no more teachings. It all happens naturally from then on. Intuitively, it dawns on you that this beautiful energy flow must be coming from somewhere. Yogananda wrote in Whispers from Eternity in 1949, "Oh, what has become of me? Intoxication on intoxication, endless, indescribable throngs of divine intoxications ceaselessly come to me. Where is this energy coming from? You feel it as a flow, just as if it rushes of water were flowing upward within you. This is not theoretical, it's real. There is a constant experience of Shakti, of spirit flowing up inside you. It must be coming from somewhere, of spirit flowing up inside you. It must be coming, it has to have a source. You are now ready for the next stage of your journey home. You begin to seek the source. You will very quickly realize the mind cannot help you on this journey. Any focus on thoughts draws consciousness away from self and diminishes the energy flow. This is not an analytical or philosophical journey. Only one thing can seek the source of the energy flow, that which is experiencing it, your consciousness. To seek the source of a freshwater spring, you swim toward the flow. You feel the current and go into it. It is the same when you are seeking the source of a Shakti flow. Your consciousness feels the flow and melts into it. This becomes your entire spiritual practice. This is surrender, real surrender. Heretofore, you've practiced surrender by letting go of your lower self. Now that you've learned to feel this higher energy flow inside, you surrender to it. Until this final surrender, there is still a subject-object experience. Consciousness is the subject, and it is experiencing the Shakti flow object. If you want to truly know the flow, you must fall into it, become one with it. To get closer to becoming one with the flow, you must surrender your entire sense of separation. It's not enough to experience the energy. You must release yourself into it. As you let go, the flow will pull you in. That's where the great masters went. In Sanskrit, the word yoga means union. Meher Baba said that when he first went into the highest state of enlightenment, it was like a drop of water fell into the ocean. Try to find that drop. You can't. It merged with the ocean. Christ said, "I and my Father are one." John 10, verse 30. These teachings are the same. When you cease to separate your sense of self from this flow of the energy, it starts to pull you into it and you become one with it. Yogananda called it a river of joy flowing inside you. Your path is to find it, go there, get in, and drown. Now we're discussing the higher state, and everyone is capable of achieving this state. Hair keeps getting in my face here. Remember how we got here. We got here by letting go of the blockages to this flow. The higher states are totally natural, but you shouldn't be seeking them. Don't be blocked and then try to experience what it's like to not be blocked. Get unblocked and the deeper meditations will come completely naturally. You'll be minding your own business, watching TV, and you'll fall into states that you couldn't reach after hours of meditation. You will become a being of Shakti, and she will take you into ecstasy over and over again. There is nothing more beautiful than the Shakti flow. She is so fulfilling that you would never block her again. If something happens and you feel you want to defend yourself, don't touch it. First, let go of the part of you that wants to close down, then deal with the outside. Use everything to let go of what stands between you and the God-realized state. Start with the low-hanging fruit throughout the day. Remember just the little issues that come throughout the day. The driver driving too slow in front of you, the coworker that you don't care for. What other examples did he use? The dog barking down the street, someone's car alarm going off. The little things throughout our days that irritate us and pick at us and drive us mad. That kind of stuff. That's the low-hanging fruit, in case you missed that chapter. Start with the low-hanging fruit throughout the day and then progress to letting go of your past. That's a perfect way to begin meaningful transformation. Once you learn how to let go of self-generated disturbances, inevitably something bigger will happen. Because of the work you have done on yourself, it will be totally natural for you to let go during more challenging times. Don't wait until a terrible bomb goes off in your life to wonder what to do differently. You need to do the work of releasing yourself in your everyday life. You will then be able to handle anything life brings your way. Like most things in life, these deeper spiritual states take time. Just do the inner work and the energy will start flowing. Once the floodgates open within you, you'll have all the help you need for the ascent. You are not walking this path alone. All who walked before you are lifting you up. Just keep letting go. No matter what happens, keep letting go. These states are not going to happen all at once and then stay there. You'll get rushes from time to time because something opens up. It's okay if it closes back down. Don't worry. You still have work to do. Be diligent, but give it time. Eventually, the upward flow will never leave you. You will become a knower of your soul, a knower of spirit. When you can relax and release into the deeper states, you will finally awaken to full self-realization. That's what true enlightenment is. Enlightenment is not a spiritual experience. It is a permanent spiritual state. No matter how deep you have gone, please do not say you're enlightened. Let that word be reserved for the great masters. Just be content. Don't build a spiritual ego. Spirituality is not about hanging out a shingle that says, I'm a spiritual person. It is about letting go of that too. It is about perpetually letting go of yourself completely. If you never stop doing this, the energy will take over. Where you used to see your personal self expressing, you will now see nothing but the flow of Shakti. Surrender to the flow. Give your life to it. Merge into it, and it will take you the rest of the way. That is the final surrender. It has been such an honor to share these teachings with you. Please don't let this be just another book you read and then go back to your normal way of life. Do this work. This work is not about renunciation of life. It's about truly experiencing life at the deepest level. If you let go of yourself on a daily basis under all circumstances, you will find what is greater than yourself. That's just the way it works. Where you're not, God is. Where God is, you're not. Now do you understand why Christ said the kingdom is within you? It is the very essence of your being. Your heights are incomprehensible and you are perfectly capable of doing this work. Your inner states will just keep getting higher and higher as you keep letting go. The fact that you are even interested in these teachings means you've changed the world. You who do the work of liberating yourself are to be deeply respected. With great love and respect, Michael Singer. I love Michael Singer. He's great. He had a deep inner awakening in 1971 while he was working on his doctorate in economics and went into seclusion for some time. Wow. He's been teaching in the spiritual aspect for 5 decades. He really does have some amazing, his book, The Surrender Experiment, is a more personal book about his own experience. And man, it was a really, really eye-opening and uplifting book. It really, really is. I do recommend it. I keep saying really, but I do recommend it if you liked this book. That other one is easier to understand in the fact that because it's a personal story. So he doesn't go into the energies and the science behind it and all of this. It's just about his personal journey. I believe he was a very wealthy man flying around in private jets when he had his awakening, and it totally shifted his life. And some people might say, maybe for the better. And I guess it depends on your outlook. Some people might say the money is more important. I think he maintained both, if I'm not mistaken. That was what was so mind-blowing about it. But just remember, like he says in this book, nothing is going to happen right away. Look how long it took you your whole life to fill yourself with things that you want to suppress and things that you want to hold on to. Look how long you've been holding on to your patterns and your habits. So just like anything, losing weight, stopping a bad habit, quitting smoking, whatever it is, it's not going to happen overnight. You will stumble, you may fall, you may quit and then get back up again. But don't get discouraged that it's not happening right away. Keep working at it because it's a journey. It's a spiritual journey. It never ends. And therefore, we're constantly evolving. That's why we're here. So it's a constant, you're constantly working on yourself. It never ends if you're a person that is very interested in the self-improvement of inside. You can stop at some point on the outside, but the inside stuff is never ending. There's always a new door that's opening on your spiritual journey and new interests that just naturally follow from it. So thank you so much for following me reading this book together. I really enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoyed it thoroughly as well. And that no matter even if there were some confusing parts, you took the message away and it's something that you can apply to your life when you're ready to, if you're ready to. I've had this book on my shelf for years and I'm just now reading it. And I know whenever I pick out a book, I do choose carefully because I like books and I could really buy some books. So I have to be choosy. So I know that even if it's been on my shelf for a while, I'm going to pick it up and still find interest in it, especially in this genre, the spiritual stuff and things that can help me grow. So hopefully you did take some things away from this book, as all of the books I put out there, and you've listened and even just taken one thing away from them. So thank you so much for joining me. I am stuck on what to read next. I will maybe put something out there with a few choices. I may find something that I think is perfect, and I will see you again very soon with our next segment and our new book. Until then, take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.